a new spot. Got the little mules out today. So I know I get more views on my Harley Davidson videos. But let's go, baby. You right there. I don't know where we're at, but the road was blocked, so we're staging here and we're gonna do a hop skip. Well, we made it. We took another route to the edge of the world. We actually went to a whole new park, somewhere completely different, because somebody commented on one of my YouTube videos about a really cool area. And I hope you're watching this because we went to check it out, and that place was fucking garbage. So we left. That's old Ladyville. Flat terrain. Also super small. It's in between two freeways and you're stuck in the middle. Also, it's one of those parks where you have to have a OHV license and pass and registration and all this crazy shit. And also it was closed, and so we had to like break through the fence, and we ride around, and we're worried about park rangers, and it was a super easy terrain, so there wasn't giving us much of a workout. Whole lot of complaints on that spot. Yeah, those family-oriented OHV trails aren't for us. We're more X Games, you know what I mean? So to get here, you got to go through some crazy shit. We are not going to do a crazy ride out. It's a beautiful forest ride, and I mean, it's gorgeous, but it's easy. But we worked really hard to get here, so we're just gonna cruise. And I couldn't film because it's a new route. Last video I got lost like 9 times, and so we stayed on our Sennas and communicated our way here. So I was thinking of some ideas to chat about. And I have so many. I could literally film videos for forever. But I was thinking for today, since I got lost so many times, and we're just going with the flow and following the forest. I thought burning the old map and finding a new way was a great conversation for today. I've been lucky in life to have so many experiences. You know, what I thought was a curse with my parents in prison and being poor and homeless and all these things that I used to think made me a victim, I realized were my blessings. They say moss doesn't grow on a rolling stone. a time in my existential crisis days, and I'm not sure how many of you are going through that, but man, my early 20s were just one big sad poem. And so I think at that point in my life, I just really wanted to help people. Kind of like now, I mean. So I graduate college and I get a job during the day. I was a freshman English teacher. And then at night, I was a rape counselor at the Sexual Assault Recovery and Prevention Center. Being a high school teacher doesn't pay very well, but it feeds the soul. And the STARP Center, where I was doing the rape counseling, was also not very good pay. Between both jobs, you know, less than $1,000 a week, working pretty long hours. And you know, the kids complain that they have homework. Well, who the hell do you think has to go home and correct it all? Grade your papers. Talk about homework. They're doing homework for 1, I'm doing homework for 28. It was a beautiful time in my life. I won't lie. The helping those kids and those girls were pretty powerful for me. But it was keeping me in my existential loop. You know, I was still dealing with depression. I would try to surf every morning, so I'd wake up, I'd go surf Pismo Beach for 2 hours, go to class, teach with salt still in my hair. I just couldn't sit still. And as much as I loved helping everybody, I could see that I was giving away. Woo! I doubt that jump showed up on film. These bikes can fly, you guys. So I was giving too much of myself away. And I wasn't saving any for myself. It wasn't the right time for me. And people pulled strings, you know, to get the teaching position at the beachfront school. My classroom had a view of the ocean. Pretty amazing. I was very blessed. And people pulled strings to get me in as a rape counselor. they actually recruited me. It wasn't like they did me a favor. I used to do open mic poetry nights, and one of the directors of the SARP Center liked my poem and thought I'd be good for their office. The strings they pulled was that they were out of budget, and they ended up taking a few sacrifices to have a budget for my payroll. Which, by the way, you guys, the poem that got me into the SARP Center as a counselor will blow your mind. Maybe if I can find it, I'll post an image of it, or I'll do a voiceover reading it, because I have no idea what they were thinking. It was a pretty raw, gritty poem. Woo! Get that ass out. So in order for me to actually find my own happiness, follow my own heart, and start working on me instead of being so worried about everybody else, I had to go to the people that had just spent months pulling strings for me and getting me into these amazing situations, and tell them that I was no longer able to do it, which once again was more about me giving too much of myself away. So I said, fuck it. I had the hard talks, put in my resignation at the high school, put in my resignation at the SARP Center. And decided that I was going to take a vote for myself, despite who I offended and who I left behind. And you know, the high school was easy. I was good for those kids and they were good for me in a lot of ways, but it was easy to walk away from. Counseling was tough. I used to have, you know, a lot of the people I was dealing with were emasculated. I had this one girl, she couldn't pick out her clothes without calling me for help. She couldn't order food at the fast food restaurants without calling me to help her make her decisions. She just had no strength left, and we got it back. And so obviously, even when I quit that job, I still answered calls, still talked to people. Meanwhile, you know, I'm 24, depressed, alcoholic. I keep trying to shift, but I'm already in top gear. So I choose me. I quit. I walk away. I I even left. Everybody wants to live in a beautiful beach town until you've lived in it for a decade. And then you just need something new.
Man, that ain't ripping. I don't know what it is.
And then I just told myself, you know, I'm just gonna go wherever life takes me. I'm just gonna drift. And whatever this world has to offer, I'm gonna take. And then I hear about this company that's hiring salespeople. In a little town called Scottsdale. And I just, with open arms, I just went. I ended up making a ton of money my first year, and I had already come from a business background. I think I told you guys about my mortgage company. That's because I dropped out of college, started that company, and then 3 years later when it crashed, I went back to college and then became a teacher. So I have an amazing year at this company, and it set my life up for my future because I quit that job after a year and I started a business doing the exact same thing. And then with that business, I brought in my family as employees and business partners. I hired my friends that needed money. Rising tide rises all ships, don't they say something like that? So that's what I did. I rose all the ships in my crew. We all got rich. We all found our passions. Some guys made some money and left and flew away, and that's the biggest compliment ever. When they grow like little fledglings. Oh shit. Woo! So if you're wondering what happened there, my clutch stuck. And so normally what I would do is I'd counter steer and counter lean and kick my back tire out. But I was like hitting my clutch and it wasn't downshifting. Anyway. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you feel stuck. Sometimes you feel like you're giving a lot of yourself away. Maybe you don't feel like you're in the right place. And it feels uncertain because you don't know what's on the other side. When Spirit talks to you, you gotta listen. When you're unhappy, or you feel like there's something else out there for you, and you feel like you owe it to the people that's in your current life, and you stay in your misery, you're ignoring your higher calling. You know, your higher self and your guardian angels, they don't come down and talk to you, tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you should quit this job. Instead, what they do is they have you crying while you're at your desk, miserable driving to work, dreading the weekdays, looking forward to Friday. If you look forward to Fridays, that could be your higher self telling you that there's something better for you out there, and to burn the old map. Talked a lot about getting on the other side of fear, stepping into the most powerful version of yourself. All this stuff is related. Smells like two-stroke, tastes like dirt back here. I guess I am in heaven. Learning to trust your intuition and your gut is what this episode's all about. You know, burning the old map, I gave you guys a external visual antidote of what that was, but it's also internal. It's changing the way you talk to yourself, the battle between your ears, negative self-talk, doubt. I won't get picked for this, I won't get that job, no one's going to invest in my company, so why try? If I break up with this person, I'll be single forever, or I'll never have anybody this good. Save all that drama, delete that shit. This world is fucking amazing. This place is abundant, beautiful. Everything we could ever imagine is here for us now. Fear-based thought will keep you so stuck. That's a map that you need to burn. Rephrase and reframe every negative thought immediately. One little trick that used to help for me, if I ever said anything negative, even about how I felt, like if I thought I was getting sick and I was like, oh, I think I'm getting sick, I would just physically say, Control-Alt-Delete. I feel like $1 million. I'm afraid to make this phone call for such and such reason. Control-Alt-Delete. People can't wait to hear from me. They love what I have to offer. I want to quit this job and move and follow my passion on the road, but I just don't have the money for it. Control-Alt-Delete. If I leave now and start, everything will fall into place. So, those are some of the old maps. If you're still listening, you have all my respect and all my gratitude. I want us all to grow. I've still got some growing to do. Things come up for me all the time. but I transition out of it. I mean, even these videos, you know, I'm just gonna put them out there. That's it. Someone needs to hear it. And I don't gotta figure out who needs to hear it, because the universe will put me where I belong. And so will the YouTube algorithm. So here we go. I got some really fun stories to share coming up. More stuff about fear. But once again, much respect and love for being here. Get out there and do good things, you guys. Help people when you can. Be good, do good. And if you're listening to this, you are the resistance. Back at the truck, baby. Another big day. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. It's good to be back on solid ground down here. Man, I love this bike, you guys.